Nearly there, everyone. Thank you for sticking out this far. But this is definitely a thing I wanted to get done in one episode. Hal is next. Then we're dealing with our fucking trio. Me, Fortune, and Valissa. Hal enters my quarters, carrying an aura of purpose with him. After Eastcrown, I know that something big has been on his mind. We're so close to the final battle, it's probably time for us to talk.
Monarch, we must speak with you. It's about our upcoming attack on Balteus. At least we think it is. Things have become complicated.
I really don't need to hear the word complicated now as we're nearing the end.
We may be walking into a trap. This may be all part of the Triumvirate's plan.
You know what? Based on one of the visions this game showed me, I think you might be right.
Take their blade, feed it power, and then bring it back. This may be what they've wanted all along. We've seen it. Everything we've done has only made their weapon stronger.
Tell me what you're thinking.
They let us steal their blade. They wanted it to happen. They knew we'd bring it here, feed it death, and tap into the idol. But not only that, we're bringing it right back to them, stronger than ever.
You know what? Flop in an oven mitt? I think he's right.
You may think we are wrong, that this is just a foolish theory, but we must only look into the visions to realize the truth. That, combined with some of your actions, like clockwork.
The clocks, you say?
It's almost like sometimes you have no other choice. You say or do things that push us down a certain path, but more often than not, that path leads us to death. How convenient, then, that the blade feeds off of death. In your hands, it has gotten more powerful than ever before. But what force, what invisible hand, guides us down this path? It's quite simple, but we were always looking at it the wrong way. Venturing into Eastcrown and seeing that ship made us realize that when we approached things from a different angle, it all made sense.
Perhaps you could start making sense.
We've been struggling with visions of these different pasts. They seem to come out of nowhere and complicate things. Until recently, we only had to process visions of the future.
He crosses his arms.
At least, that's what we thought.
I take a step forward. Interesting to see where he's going with this.
But now we realize we've never seen the future at all. It's impossible to see what has not yet been written, but it is easy to see what has already happened.
You know, maybe that kind of lines up with the thing back before, like when we asked the Blade to show us the vision of our victory, and we asked to see the future. We did not get to see the future. Huh. Now he's lost me. But he hasn't lost me.
These visions of different pasts aren't as out of place as we thought. You were told you had visions of the future, and chose to believe that fact. But they are not visions of the future. They, too, are simply different pasts.
Okay, now you're starting to lose me. What?
The key to all of this is the Blade of Exodus. It's a constant in every vision, but the power within it varies, even when it shouldn't. There are inconsistencies. Even if we have a vision of the same situation, the power inside the blade is different.
Wait, what if the blade exists in every reality, in every dimension at once? It is all one singular sword. So if we're tapping into it, we're not seeing visions of the future. We are literally seeing into a different reality? Am I on your same train of thought? I may be in a different car. I may be in a different caboose. But are we on the same track?
The Triumvirate has some sort of dominion over time. That much is clear. They possess the ability to grant their subjects eternal life, like Ulrich and Sophie. We need to operate under the assumption that this ability can be used in other ways.
He eyes the blade on my back.
Mainly, in a way that could be used to strengthen the Blade of Exodus. They could create a cycle full of death and despair that we are unable to break. When the cycle reaches an end, they could revert time and gather that power all over again.
Oh, my.
The visions of the future you thought you were having, they aren't what you thought. We believe they are visions of cycles in the past. Perhaps cycles where we have perished. Did your visions of the future involve your death in any way? Think about this, Monarch.
What? Okay, we're on a time loop. We're seeing a... Ooh! This is making my... Oh, not that my theory wasn't too far out there. Suppose it would be interesting in some sense. The whole multiverse thing. But we're in a time loop type of thing. If I do enough meth, this starts to make sense. Now that he mentions it, they did. I was stabbed by Sylvie in the vision that started all this. And after touching the blade, my series of visions ended with me getting stabbed. That's odd. I tell him these stories, and he smirks. It seems I'm only confirming his outlandish theories.
Those were visions of past cycles, Monarch. Cycles where we failed. When we look at it like this, these different pasts make perfect sense. We've been looking at them all wrong, that is, until just recently.
We've been looking at a time loop.
It seems that we retain some prior knowledge from these cycles. Perhaps that is why we act in certain ways, as if we have no options. In the back of our mind, we're pushing ourselves in the same direction.
We're making a new future.
We think the Triumvirate is manipulating time. They are doing this in order to make the Blade even stronger. The occupation, the formation of the rebellion, and the attack in the tunnels. All of those casualties simply serve to give the Blade more power. We have no doubt that many will perish when we assault Baltius as well. But when the time comes, they can simply make it happen all over again.
So they're feeding off death. So it's not like someone in like a major minor game, right? It's like that was a definite case of multi-dimensions. Or at least I think so, if I'm remembering correctly. Here is the Triumvirate? Wait a second. Are all these games connected? Like, are they all connected? Is the Triumvirate trying to become new gods of death? And they're trying to become new powerful gods, so they have to do a time loop to keep causing more and more death to feed off of, to become more and more powerful. Clace, are you working on a third game involving multi-dimensional wars? This is almost too much to comprehend.
It makes sense when you think about it. Especially with these tunnels. Those suits of armor knew exactly how to fortify this place for your army. They must have retained their knowledge and adapted each and every time. But only one question remains unanswered. Why? Why do they want to make this blade even stronger? What is their endgame? What do they desire? It is very possible that we are walking into a trap. That is, unless the blade has enough power to defeat them. Their plan, if it's as I expect, is a double-edged sword.
I mean, because we're getting a powerful weapon ourselves, because it can be used against them.
An infinite cycle, created specifically to power the blade. There must be a cycle, a prime cycle, where we have the power to defeat them. A point where the blade is strong enough for us to win, but not yet strong enough for them. All we can do is hope that we've reached that cycle. The power in that blade is immense, but isn't enough. Hopefully you understand what we are trying to say.
He's trying to tell me that we're trapped in some sort of time loop? A loop that the Triumvirate fashioned in order to give the blade power? And not only that, but I never saw the future. I only saw failed past endeavors. It's hard to believe, but death has definitely followed me and my allies. If their goal was to feed the blade with power, then they've certainly succeeded. But... Stop Stop messaging me. But how far back does this cycle go? Could it reach as far back as the occupation? Wait a minute! Attack Mazeo, kill innocents, and incite a rebellion. Attack that rebellion, provoke them into attacking your home, and then destroy them. With what Hal said, it almost does seem like that we're walking into a trap. This can't be.
The reason we see these things is because of the energy within us. It makes us sensitive in a way that others are not. We are both special, but I don't think visions are the only benefit of this power. There is more.
Dear God, no.
Perhaps you see a flash of events that are happening elsewhere. Perhaps you can relive a conversation that has already happened.
Oh God, he knows the game mechanics.
These cycles manifest themselves in many ways.
Oh God, he knows the game mechanics.
But when we look at it this way, everything makes sense. Everything has an explanation, and nothing is left up in the air. The only question is, do you believe us? Do you think we are correct?
Of course I believe you. You literally... I was going along on this fucking train ride itself, but you literally just, like, reminded me. It's like, oh God, he knows the game mechanics of me seeing all the other things.
Good. We knew you would see the truth of things. This was an impossible matter to discuss with anybody else. We are special. And now we finally understand the reason why.
He turns to leave, but tilts his head back to address me one more time. I guess he wanted to leave no stone unturned before our attack on Balteus.
The Triumvirate is up to something. That much is clear. If it aligns with our theory, at least you will be able to act. Getting caught off guard would damage us beyond repair. That is not something we want our monarch to endure. Be prepared for anything, for the enemy will stop at nothing. If you can do this, then perhaps our victory will be more likely.
With that said, he sees himself out of my room. It all came out of nowhere, and I'm not sure how to react. But one thing was clear. There's so much we didn't know. But would we learn the truth in Balteus? Or would we even make it that far? I don't know. Start to feel uneasy, even with all this new knowledge. Could we really have been fundamentally wrong about everything? As I go about my business, it's impossible to shake that thought out of my head. Alright, let's see. Fortame. If I'm gonna take... Fortame. Yep, gonna take the second to last. Gonna be our good buddy Fortame. Oh yeah, we're climbing this son of a bitch. Fortame takes me back to Valinor, and we look at the Grand Tree. Makes sense that he'd want to accomplish his lifelong dream before we all die. With those metallic claws he found in Mazeo, I think he could finally achieve what he wanted. And of course, he wanted me to achieve it with him. I'm grateful that he chose me, but I'm also a little worried. One slip and we die! Is this really something I could pull off, even with those tools?
Well, I guess this is it. I can't leave for Balteus with any regrets. So I'm finally going to do it. I'll climb the Grand Tree.
You climb, you fucking weird, I don't know what the fuck you are, dude.
And with someone like you, no less. Think they'll talk about this in the history books? I mean, I don't think anybody else has done this before.
Because no one else has ever been this dumb before, Fortame. We're going to be the first.
Here, you need to put these on like gloves. There's another pair that goes on your feet as well. After that, we just climb. We don't need to find footholds. Being able to create them ourselves? Now that's a good invention. I gotta give credit where credit is due. The Zayians know what they're doing. Don't tell anybody, though. These might very well be under the trade ban.
Oh, God. He gives me a quick wink. It's alright, though. I won't tell anybody. Nobody would even care.
It looks way taller than I remember. I'd try to give you some advice, but I don't have any. With those tools, this should be pretty easy. At least, I hope.
Here's the tip. Don't fall. God, that would be embarrassing if we die before the battle because we fell out of a tree.
Just don't fall, Monarch. I don't know if you could survive something like that.
Be like, no.
I've fallen from way shorter trees and been in pain for months.
Jeez. He sure is great at instilling confidence.
Well then, got everything ready? Let's find a good starting point and do this. But remember, it's a race, so no holding back. I want to make sure that we both give it our all. No regrets.
No regrets. He enters his stance and implies he's ready to begin. I nod to let him know that I'm ready, and assume the same stance. We make our way to the base of the grand tree and look up. This is the first time I realized how tall it actually is. Would we really be able to make it to the top? What would... A doubt wells up within me, but I don't voice it.
I bet I'll be the first one there.
Okay, don't know what the prize is. And with that said, he digs his claws into the tree and starts to climb. I watch him for a few moments before replicating his actions to a T. After a few minutes of doing this, we're extremely far from the surface.
Scared of heights? Make sure not to look down. I, for one, love the view. This is part of why I do it.
I believe you. I guarantee you, like, the Draken King warrior dude was probably around here somewhere also climbing.
Hey, no fair! I was taking a breather. Didn't think you'd be the type to play dirty.
Oh, you know, I've yet begun to fight. He laughs. We scale the tree at almost the same rate. I can't imagine doing this without those claw-like tools. In fact, they make this pretty easy. There's no risk of falling. I beg to differ. It allows me to take a step back and admire Fortame's skill. He was climbing trees through his entire life without this kind of aid. I certainly appreciate his every stumble and fall, his every bruise. As we get higher and higher, we start to get enveloped in a canopy of leaves. We aren't quite high enough that they become red, but it's still an impressive sight. It blocks us from seeing the village below us, but it's beautiful to look at regardless. Really helps solidify just where we are. We're scaling the grand tree! Nobody has done this before, and it's been his dream for decades now. However, due to his challenge, the competitive spirit starts appearing within me. At this rate we're going, I could very well beat him to the top. In fact, if it was a race, that'd be pretty much the point. But this was still his dream, and he might... Well, way to easily point what the good, so-called right option is here, people. Let him win. I decide to intentionally throw my progress. Fortame deserves to win. I feel like it's only fair. As we get higher, we reach the blood leaves on high. When we reach the final stretch, I fake a small stumble. Nothing to put myself in danger, just enough to cause a slight delay. After Fortame has gone far enough up, I get myself back on track. It's not much longer before we reach the top, but he's clearly victorious. He laughs as he sits on a massive branch, big enough to support both our weight. I follow him up there and sit beside him, taking a huge sigh of relief. We did it!
I can't believe we did it, Monarch! And of course, I had a feeling that I'd win. Never think you can rise above the master.
Do not think for a second, my little chum, that I won't push you off this branch! He smiles and inches a bit closer toward me as we sit on the branch.
Look at that view. I know we can't see the village, but these leaves? I never thought I'd get to see them up close like this before.
Pretty sure then if someone decided to have a grand animated adventure of all this, it would sure look pretty, but instead, this is my view.
I've only ever seen them when they wilt and fall off. But being up here, and seeing them fresh? Wow. I wish I could take some with me, but I know I can't.
Why? He runs his hands through some of the blood leaves, clearly in awe.
You know, this doesn't feel like I thought it would. I thought it'd feel amazing, like I'd become a different person. But I feel just like I did before. I guess that's how things go, huh? Oh well, at least that's one more thing I can cross off my list. A bit anticlimactic, but I don't really know what I was expecting. Maybe it's like Eastcrown, just The allure of the unreachable.
I mean, I guess. He looks around the area one last time, admiring the view he may never see again.
Well, should we get back down to the surface? I don't want to waste much time up here. We're busy and all that. It means a lot to me that we could share this moment. I'll never forget it.
With that, he starts to climb back down. I follow after him and make our way to the surface. It feels weird to be down here, after being so high up.
So, what's next on the agenda? You know what? Never mind. You do you. I'll be around if you need me for any reason at all.
Good true words. I'll do me. You keep being you. He walks away with a big smile on his face. I guess a dream of his came true on that day. When we got to Balteus, he'd have no regrets. Holy boy. Okay, so I'm obviously at over an hour of recording. So what's going to happen is I'm going to finish this up, but this will, as you will have known by now, a two-parter. I'm literally just going to name this a part 1, part 2 type scenario. We have one last to go. One last to go. What's my time at over here? Okay. Valessa, sweetie. The loyalty scene, possibly one last boop on the nose before we die. Valessa leads me through Museo to some sort of hidden cove area. There's a large ship, and it looks like some sort of dock with no signs of life. Sashes of treasure lay about, and it's apparent that this place has been abandoned.
After we returned, I got talking to the pirates. You know, to pick up any information on our parents. It turns out, this is their base of operations. Their HQ.
Neat.
Kind of funny, isn't it? We both ended up having HQs in Museo. But, to be honest, that's where I'd like the similarities to end.
Yep.
The more I learn about them, the more I hate them.
Oh, okay, strong word, girl. Okay.
They kept running off to Museo and left us in Saelus's hands. Now that I think about it, he raised us more than they ever did. I guess they were more interested in this life of piracy. It's awful.
You know what? Fuck them. She looks around the cove, taking in the environment.
I wanted to come here with you to face the truth. Our parents were bad people. There's no denying it. They wanted this to be their legacy, rather than us.
Well, your parents were pirates. My dad was a mailman. So, you know, different... Remember, girl, different worlds we're from. She starts to walk around the area, and I follow behind her.
Look at all this junk they valued more than us. Weapons, money, more money, and lame scrolls. Maps to some far-off treasure and riches, I'm sure.
Well, you put it all that way. It kind of sounds badass, girl. But picking up a handful of coins, she throws them into the net. That's you throwing away money!
Sorry for going off like that. It just makes me really angry. We idolized them for so long, thinking the world lost good people.
Well,
But
they lost good
to
pirates.
realize that maybe the world is better off without them? It's hard.
Damn, everyone in the party realizing, fuck your parents, we get new families, we each other's families. Rock on.
Anyway, thanks for coming along with me. I just thought it would be good to do this together. I don't know how Fortin would handle it.
Fortin is literally high off life right now, having climbed a tree. He is good. Boop. She turns to face me with a hint of a smile on her face.
You know, I realized I'm different from all of these rebels. They've been living oppressed in the shadow of the Triumvirate. But It was never the triumvirate that held me back. It was always myself. I wanted to be a person who could make my parents proud. I wanted to do what society demanded of me. I wanted to be perfect. But this was a real wake-up call. Nobody is perfect. We're all flawed at heart. To realize that and embrace it, I think that's all I needed to do. I feel like now I can be who I want, and not who other people want me to be. It feels like such a small thing, but a different perspective can change a lot, you know?
True. I nod.
Well then, wanna take a look around? If we can find anything to help us in Balteus, then it's not a total loss. I'm sure there's something around here that we can take along with us.
We are sitting on a bunch of weapons that we can use to arm ourselves. A bunch of money that can be used to armor ourselves and possibly get some more cell swords. And the extra weapons to arm them. As well as maps and stuff for any other random locations for additional loot. You know, your parents may have been some cutthroat, murderous people. But it's kind of helping you out right now. I'm not saying it's justifying any of the things that they've done, but maybe, and I'm feeling proud of myself for this one, maybe we can take these treasures and these tools and these weapons that they've all gathered, and we can do some actual good with them now, you know? Yes, that's what I would tell her. Yes. She starts rummaging through various crates and sacks. I do the same as her, but find nothing of note except money. It could help after the war, but right now we needed something more. There's weapons.
Hey, look what I found.
Is it a gun? She pulls out a pair of daggers and starts inspecting. She actually found weapons. Girl, your parents may have been dicks, but they gave you an actual gift that will help you have a better future.
I think I remember these. Back when I was a kid, I swear I saw them. That means they must have belonged to my parents.
Cool. You also have a bow and arrow set strapped to your back. At least, that's gotta be a bow and arrow set, right?
Or my mother, to be exact. Just an intuition, so I can't say for sure. But I'd be willing to bet that my hunch is correct. Did you find anything good, Monarch?
No. I shake my head. There wasn't anything of note, except this giant fucking sword. Like, what the hell? Aside from those daggers, none of these weapons and money and maps were useful. Yeah, bullshit.
What do you say? Should I keep them? Might come in handy when we attack Balteus.
Of course you keep them! Girl, your parents had unintentionally left us a gift to help improve our standings. Well, that was a good question, actually. She came here to move on from her parents. Taking their stuff could just be a constant reminder. On the other hand, however, maybe she could make them her own. It was hard to tell. We will take these tools that was used to cause pain and use it. Well, we're going to use them to cause pain, but we're going to be causing pain to evil people. We're going to use them to make something better. This is obvious, at least to me. My obvious is probably someone else's, like, Ryan, you're an idiot. But with our final battle almost upon us, I'm afraid that I couldn't afford a mistake. Now, we will take their tools and to spite... Hold on. Boop. To spite your parents, who used them for murder and war. You will use them for murder and war, but for a good cause. Okay, when I put it like that, maybe I should do this one, but...
Make them my own, huh? I think I like the sound of that.
She puts the daggers in the leather straps on her back. Returning with a smile, it seems like she's ready to head home.
Well, I guess now I need to focus on the important stuff. What kind of person do I want to be after this war is over? I'm no longer held back by anything, so I guess my dreams are the limit.
The dreams are the limit! She smiles and blushes softly. Don't blush at me. The people who actually follow this series and the weird plots of My Gaming Adventures do not need this ammunition. I get enough shit from the Eclair girl situation. You don't need to know who that is. I don't need to know who that is. I'm getting a brain memory wipe after I get back to my Earth.
And as long as we're talking about dreams...
Taking a step forward, she places her hands in mine. I smile at her and give them a soft what's happening?
I never would have dreamed that we'd become this close. We've gone through so much together and become so strong. You're part of the reason I was brave enough to face my past like this.
Oh, God, no.
But with my past taken care of, I'd like to look toward the future. And if there's one thing I want the most, it's for you to be a part of it.
Why?
You know, I keep thinking back to that dance we had. I felt so special.
No woman should ever say that line. No woman should ever say that line to me. He's saying, I want you to be a part of my future. It's like, no, girl, don't lie to yourself. Don't put yourself through that kind of, like, embarrassment and misery.
There were so many eyes on us, though. I felt kind of restricted. I mean, I wanted to kiss you.
Why?
That's what you're supposed to do, right? At the end of a dance, of course. I think it's tradition or something like that.
What? What's happening?
It's just that...
What's happening? Before she can finish, I step forward and slowly move my face towards her. It's like, be silent. Do not give people ammunition. I stop halfway and wait for her to close the distance. Her face is bright red. Oh God, this is actually happening. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God, this is happening. Our lips touched. Is that what people do? Is that what couples do? We're not dating. Is that what... Well, we can't... Well, we... No, we... What... The... I need every single one of y'all, as soon as this adventure is done, to scrub this from your minds like I am. If I have any power from this Exodus sword left over, I'm doing, okay, memory wipe. Okay, everyone can have their happy futures, but you know, we're gonna alter some things. We're gonna alter some memories. None of y'all need to know. None of this needs to be remembered. I'm moving on. We're moving on. Especially you people at home who are watching this. We don't need this. You don't need this. Jared, put that Photoshop down. This was our moment, just for the two of us. I moved my head back and let my hands... What? No! No! Oh, no! Irish, put the pen down. No one needs the fan fictions. She stammers and looks around the cove, clearly embarrassed. Like, Don, stop tweeting out to furry communities trying to make me their king. I will fight you on the border to Canada.
I guess that does it then. All this time, and I only had to ask. I'm glad to finally know how you feel, for sure.
She takes a deep breath of relief, as if a massive weight was now... Everyone has weights! I totally understand. This was a big deal for her. And for me as well?
Should we head back then? I guess you have other things to tend to.
Bonds unbroken?
Truth be told, I needed this. Thank you.
You're welcome. With that, oh God, my coworkers might see this. Oh God, oh God, oh God. She faced her past in that moment and came out ever stronger. I have no doubt that she continued to grow into an amazing woman. Before we leave for good, I turn back and look around once more. This is where our parents conducted most of their business. That means this is the closest I've been to them in decades. Goodbye! Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God, we're done. This is everyone's loyalty. This was everyone's loyalty. We go to the world map. I'm saving it here. Oh my God. Morale is at 100%? 100%. 100%. 100% morale. We are ready to storm the beaches. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, when we return... definitely overriding. When we return, it is the point of no return. Welcome to the end game. Stay awesome out there. Adios.